I put the middle of this in the middle of my arm so that I don't sweat on my shirt. And that's what we call a man-pon.
Sir, do you know what a tampon is? Did you mean to say a pit pad? Hello, Panda Pals. Welcome back to the channel. Now that we are caught up on The Last Resort Season 2, Episode 13, let us have some fun in between the sheets. Sophie's watching Rob talk about why he missed dinner, and she's like, I felt so bad for him.
I actually felt bad that Rob missed the dinner. I actually bought him food to let him know he's not alone and I still care about him.
Julia is next to her talking about how she was in their room while they were arguing, and she kept telling Rob that the girlies don't hate him, they just don't like him.
We not doesn't like you, we just hate you. He's always so upset he's trying to play this offended boy.
Then we see Josh talking smack about Natalie on those bikes and how he's in separate rooms because he needs some space away from her.
I was looking for you.
Yo, he was so nervous when he saw it. He's like, oh.
Ari jokes saying that Natalie has an AirTag on him, but honestly, I would believe it. It feels very on brand for her. Jasmine would also believe it because apparently the resort they are at is huge. And Natalie is always one step away from Josh at any given moment.
I've been so stressed, Natalie, and then Natalie shows up unexpected, like what the She always finds him.
Then we watch Ari and Bini's one-on-one session where Ari admits that she only came to this resort to prove Bini is the bad guy in their relationship.
So if I'm hearing this right, she just came here to be like, you're a mother. I just want everybody else to know that.
Yes, that's exactly what she just said.
James says he could tell that Bini was completely checked out of the relationship at that point, and he wasn't laughing because he was nervous or upset. He was laughing because he was done.
I didn't have any romantic feelings for Bini for a long time because it's hard to feel romantically about someone who just acts so awfully.
And she had a feeling that Bini wanted to get a divorce, but he just wouldn't nut up and say it. We then get to see the two of them video chat with their son Avi, and it is very bittersweet. They're telling Avi that they love him no matter what, and they are holding hands with each other to show him that they are still friends, but they just confirmed that they are getting divorced.
Maybe she wants to show for Avi, oh, still we are friends. I don't have wish, for save this marriage, but at the same time, we have a son.
Stacy tells us it was very obvious from day one that Bini was not interested in saving this marriage. And Natalie is like, yeah, I guess that's why he was all up in my DMs.
He was messaging me.
Bini was messaging you?
Well, yeah. A few days after Benny left retreat, I got a message from him.
So, little Miss Natalie tells us that a few days after Bini left the resort, he followed her on her socials, and then he liked some of her pictures, and then he slid into her DMs and started talking to her like he was trying to test some waters.
So it was definitely some other reasons, and he was checking the ground, maybe I'm single, and I'm I don't know.
Hypocrite said what? Granted, I don't know if her and Josh were quote-unquote together during this episode, but if they were, girl, you suck. Calling Sophie a whore because your man's slid into her DMs to see if she was down to clown, and now this man is doing the same thing and you're sitting here all proud and perky? Go pound sand.
I have some weird connection with nature. Hey, my friend, my love.
Girly, that is not a weird relationship with nature. That is just you being weird. We check out Jasmine's one-on-one with Reba, and Jasmine tells us that she was so happy when Reba told her that she was in a successful open marriage because Gino is a very analytical guy.
I'm giving him a strong evidence that it had worked for someone, he is gonna feel comforted about it.
I love how Jasmine thinks that Gino is gonna be open to the idea of a ethically non-monogamous marriage simply because someone they know has done it successfully. But girly, she is skilled in open communication, conflict resolution, and I'm gonna bet my bottom dollar that both of them mutually respect each other. You two lack all of the above.
Me kind of coming out in this way was my attempt at representing ethical non-monogamy in a positive way.
She isn't trying to push Gino and Jasmine into an open marriage, but since it's kind of turning into a non-negotiable for Jasmine, she figured it was a good idea to guide them towards a realistic conversation about it.
I think Reba was being a bad influence. That's terrible advice to tell Jasmine because Jasmine is not you and Gino is not your...
Now, do I think that an open marriage is going to work for Jasmine and Gino? Absolutely not. But I don't think Reba is being a bad influence, okay? Jasmine has no idea how an open marriage works or how difficult it can be, and if she's saying that it's gonna be open marriage or a divorce, I can understand why Reba wants to start talking about it as a potential option so that Jasmine is more aware of what it actually means beyond another dude is gonna be able to bang me.
Ethical non-monogamy, it works when there's a strong, solid foundation of trust and communication. I think she didn't hear that part.
Yeah, she sure as sugar didn't. Then we get to see some unseen footage of a one-on-one session with James for Natalie and Josh. Josh is like, this resort has been no bueno, okay? Natalie, you suck, and I really don't know what else to do to fix you.
You flip me off, you spit at my feet, and I'm losing hope and faith that this can work.
Natalie is like, we used to be happy, but then I found out that Josh was telling Julia that he's afraid I'm gonna steal his money and his business.
She is a person who takes from each man she's in a relationship something.
I didn't say anything like that. That's nothing like I said.
James is like, okay, why don't we take a beat because we are not gonna get anywhere if you two are just gonna be interrupting each other. And James pretty much tells us that these two are a shit show and he cannot see them actually working out.
I was like, this is a show. I mean, talk about being in the frying pan. We were in the heat of it.
Then we move on to a mini game where the cast sees everybody's baby pictures and they try to guess who is who.
I mean, this is going to be easy for everybody but the white guys.
And maybe Jasmine, since her face is probably the furthest thing away from the original. We get to see Julia, who looks exactly the same. We get to see Rob before he learned how to verbally abuse the women that he dated. And we get to see Gino wearing a hat, even in his infancy.
Benny is number 8, and it's so easy because Benny doesn't like to button his shirts.
Yeah, that's how you knew. And no one can figure out which one is Jasmine because she did not submit a baby photo.
I set my room on fire when I was 10 years old, and my photo album was there, and I destroyed all my pictures.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. No one knows who this baby is, which to me is astonishing considering it looks just like them.
What?
That's just a Brenda.
Everyone thinks this was a baby girl, and Julia is like, oh, Betty wanted a girl so bad that she made Brandon grow out his hair.
She wants so bad.
Oh my God.
Well, Brandon could have been a beautiful girl.
Then we get to see some unseen footage of Darcy and Stacy getting into another blowout fight.
I'm obviously here to work on my marriage. You're here because I feel like you're part of the issue too. I can't be the one blamed being I never part of the issue.
You can definitely see their one-upping nature because Darcy is like, let's just calm down for a second, okay? Let's breathe. And Stacy's like, yeah, well, I learned a lot about breathing exercises at this retreat, so I'm like really good at it. And Darcy is like, yeah, well, I've had a lot of therapy, so I also know how to breathe really good.
I did learn a lot of breathing exercises since I've been here, so I've had therapy in the past, so I know exactly what to do. Let's just take a minute, like 30 seconds.
Darcy tries to say that her relationship with Florian is not what Stacy thinks it is, and Stacy is like, I mean, all you guys do when you hang out is talk shit about me.
This trip is about you and Florian, but I am here too. Do not take that away from me.
I don't really know what she means by that. Like, take what away from you? Are you upset that you're here, but the focus is not solely on you?
I think Darcy's wrong to show up talking about, this is about you and your husband doing therapy, but I'm here now.
I hate when I agree with him, but I agree with him. Stacy then accuses Darcy of staying up late with Florian and boozing it up, and Darcy is like, I never drink with him late at night, okay? I smoke cigarettes with him late at night.
I don't drink with your husband late at night. We're not smoking.
Then they just start calling each other names, and everyone watches in shock because they have never seen this side of Stacy because she's been nothing but an absolute sweetheart the entire time she's been at this resort.
Low life. Look at yourself, you trashy ass. Right. That's right. Yeah, right.
The producers then asked Jasmine and Ari to do their best impression of Stacy and Darcy for some reason, and oh boy, Jasmine. Girlie, you gotta be careful, okay? Because when I saw this screen grab, I thought it was Jasmine just being straight up racist as fuck. Like, Ari at least pulled back her entire face, but you just decided to pull up the corners of your eyes.
Eyes on the prize. Got it in the bios.
That's Darcy, right?
Yes.
Then we see Julia and Brandon's session with James.
Bro, your parents look alike.
Like each other?
No way. Look alike.
Julia tells us that Brandon's dad tries to support her when she's going through a rough patch with Brandon, but Betty always shushes him away, so Brandon doesn't have to be held accountable for anything. So for example, if Julia complains that Brandon spends too much time playing video games and not enough time with her, his dad will be like, "Ooh, girly, get him on the phone, I will set him straight." And Betty is like, "Oh, hush, she's not gonna die from neglect." Then we see the part where Brandon reveals that she cheated on him and then he walks away. And then Julia is like, typical Brandon, walking away from his problems.
She did cheat on you, so why is this? Oh my God, I hate watching the double standard.
James chases after Brandon, and Brandon reveals why he doesn't want her family to come to America.
They're a nightmare, and it becomes a nightmare for me because she plays the middleman in all their drama, and then she takes it out on me, and I don't want to deal with that.
So essentially, Julia's parents do not get along with each other, so she has to mediate a lot of the times, and that usually puts her in a foul mood. She's really angry, and Brandon feels like she comes home and takes it out on him. That does really suck for him, but I still don't think it's fair to deprive Julia of having her family here because it makes things difficult for you. Because look at your current situation. Julia has issues with your parents too. You are enmeshed with your mother and you called Julia crazy for calling you out on that. Like, shit is not easy for her either regarding her in-laws.
I've tried. What the is wrong with him? What's going on?
Some men deal with things differently. Oh my God.
Are you guys really making fun of him right now for showing emotion instead of just bottling it up and repressing it like you do until that shit manifests as toxic and disrespectful behavior towards other people? Really? That's weird. Then Betty is like, "Don't lie to our son and hurt him." And Jasmine is like, "Bitch, shut up."
Shut the up. This is our baby. You're hurting our baby. Why are you doing? You caused this, bitch.
We see Bini packing up and leaving, and Jasmine is like, "Yes, he finally got out of that terrible marriage." And then she realizes that she is sitting right next to Ari, and she's like, "Oh shit, I mean, I'm so sorry for you." Bini tells us that he's very happy with the decision for a divorce, but he is sad that he has to leave the resort because he won't be able to hang out and have fun with all of his bros. Then he pulls out the rock from Compromise Canyon that says affection, and he yeets that shit straight into the trash.
Affection. Because she doesn't let it go. Now she has to let it go. No more affection.
Jasmine is like, "Oh my God, I gagged when he did that." How hypocritical, okay? As if she was not cheering him on just a minute ago for moving on with his life.
I'm also not sure he knows what the word affection means.
He knows what affection means, okay? Just stop being so condescending. Bini tells us that he tried his absolute best to make this marriage work. He didn't. But a divorce is the best thing for them because being in a toxic marriage would not have been good for their son either. And then he tells us he is so super duper sad, but he's wearing the biggest smile on his face.
It's painful. Yeah, sad.
And that, my Panda Pals, is all I have for you today. I love In Between the Sheets because it is all nonsense and epic levels of hypocrisy. Anyway, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments what you thought about this episode. I'll see you for the next one, and as always, thanks for not letting me ride this train wreck alone. Bye!